Hey everyone, I know a lot of you have been wondering what my new studio looks like. Well, guess what? I finally unpacked the last box. So I wanted to take you on a little tour of how I have it set up. I have a few more things that I still need to do, but I thought you might like to see what it looks like right now. So let's go ahead and tour. So I am outside the studio here, and I'm gonna walk in and I set up. I've had a lot of comments, by the way, about my furniture in here. The furniture is from IKEA, but unfortunately they no longer make them anymore. They discontinued it. So I set up two of my IKEA tables in the center of the room as cutting areas. And I also had lots of comments about the rug that I got. That I actually got on overstock.com. I just love the rug. I cannot believe it, but my husband and I put it down, and it's a big rug, and it was a bear to put down because it was so heavy, but they come in lots of different sizes, and I got mine on overstock.com. So that's the center island. And then if you look over here, I have under the one window, I have all my teaching notebooks nicely lined up and neatly lined up there. So when I go teach, I can just grab my notebook out of there and go ahead and go teaching. So I'm trying to stay organized. So these are some of my bolts of fabric that I bought for backings that I keep. And then I have my little sewing area here, which is also IKEA, and I'm going to be adding, so if you see where my table is here, right over here, I'm going to be adding a second table so that I can set up a second sewing machine there. So when my friends come to visit, either in town or from out of town, there's a permanent sewing space there for my friends to sew. I've got 3 more sewing machines, and I'm gonna set one up permanently there. I've arranged some of my fabric in here, and I can tell you how I did that. These are my spots and dots that I like to collect. So I do a lot of that collecting over here, and plus I've got extra light too if we go into the nighttime. I've got right here, I've got hand dyes. Down there I've got some solids. I've got some batiks there, and I've got stripes there, and that's my little cable box. And then I've got a little table over here just with some business stuff. And there's my ironing spot. Yes, I know I need to get a new ironing board. A lot of you have commented about the dirty ironing board. Yes, I need to get a new iron cover. So I do know that. I do have some boxes over here that are unpacked, but those are my threads for my long arm, which is over here. And the threads are actually going to get hung on the wall over here. Do you remember from my last studio where I had my thread wall on the cones all lined up? That's where it's going to go, right there, because that corner of the room doesn't get any sunlight, only the light from the ceiling. And over here where they're lined up against is going to go a big design wall. So I can't wait to put that there. Then of course I have my long arm here with the windows there, and I've got some more fabric storage underneath the long arm. And yes, that's all from IKEA. That is from the Besta, B-E-S-T-A grouping, and they're little TV stands, and they fit nicely. There's 3 on this side, and then I have 1 on the other side. So here's my one Varde, which they do not make anymore, and this Varde piece, which IKEA doesn't make anymore. So then if you, over here is when you guys order a Judy Niemeyer pattern from my website. That's how I have them all organized. I have them right in one of the IKEA bookcases, all organized alphabetically. Then I have some more fabrics on this side. I have them categorized by African fabrics, Australian fabrics, and then I have projects and projects bins here. We've got a little bit of sunlight coming in on there, but you can see the project bins. So those are all projects that are either started or ready to be started. So then I've got my own little bathroom here. So really don't have to come out of here because there's a shower in there too. I got to get a shower curtain. I have to ask my husband to just shove food under the door every once in a while I'm in here. And then I've got my really nice walk-in closet. And a lot of you were asking about this beautiful rug. My really good friend Karen made this rug. So it's a one of a kind. And it's actually going to get hung on the wall. Right now it's just there for decoration. I have it hanging in my studio back in Connecticut, and I really just like the color. So then I went ahead and I organized my fabrics by color in here, and I absolutely am so happy with how I've got them organized, because it just is going to be so much easier to pull the colors that I need. And you could tell I'm just a little bit of a freak with the bright colors. Then I've got a little more storage up top, a couple more project bins, and I put my quilts that need to be quilted are hanging right there. I've got backings way up on the top. There's my sewing machine box. Backings way up top. And I've got a very special quilt there that my great friends in Connecticut made for me before I left for the moment. My friends made that quilt. That's gonna hang in my studio as well. It's just a very special quilt. Then I've got my books right here on my shelf, so if I ever need a book here, and they are my designs, my patterns. And then I've got my extra sewing machines right there. One of them is going to go out in the studio. And then I've also got a few more projects in there. I didn't have project bins for them, but they're neatly, actually it doesn't look neat in the picture, but they are neatly bagged. And they are there for me to just grab when I want. And my son just texted me and he wanted me to say that he is awesome, and he is, but he needs to stop calling right now. I'll call you later, bud. I love you. Anyway, so, and then this is just some bags. A lot of you probably are familiar with those. And that is about the big old tour. So, and that's the door to the foyer. So I'll give you one big more panoramic view of the room here. So the teaching materials, the sewing station, the cutting station, the ironing station, and the long arm and some fabric stowed beneath. And those quilts, by the way, will get hung up in the room. And where the patterns are, and the bathroom, and my closet, so my fabrics will stay out of the bright sunlight. And that is my studio. And I did say something about you, Brian. I love you, buddy. And anyway, so that's my studio. If you have any questions, love to hear from you. And I hope you enjoyed the tour. I can't wait to actually sit down and start sewing in here. I am so excited that I finally got it all unpacked and organized. Let's see how long it takes me to make a mess of it, because I'm sure it won't take long. So thanks all for joining me, and I will see you soon.